Right. So with that, we are going to officially begin the work that we are supposed to do in the last session. So ladies and gentlemen, try your best to help me by communicating, unmuting your mic and speaking with me. That's the best way that you can communicate it. Well, so where we are going to begin? Yes, let me ask one question. Now, we've been trying from the beginning, doing lots of things, starting from distinguishing between what the kind of style that you were doing in advanced levels and schools and how that style is going to be different in the university. Now you have a light idea, yes, this is the kind of activity that we are supposed to do in the university. And the very specific thing that we were highlighting in it is, unlike in schools, we cannot completely rely on textbooks. We cannot completely rely on courseworks or other coursewares. In universities, we are going to rely solely on every minute updating scientific databases, journals, and symposiums, so that every time when you're dealing with the subject matter, make sure that you access through your Google Scholar profile or any other profile that you use to search, surf, and explore scientific research. Use those scientific databases to access high-end, up-to-date articles where you find the most up-to-date data, so that you know where exactly the scientific, technical, engineering, mathematics, simply STEM, and technological up-to-date knowledge exists. And then we've been exploring together how these texts were organized, how they were organized with abstracts and so on in IMRAD, Introduction, Methodology, Results and Discussion, and Conclusion, the very journal article format or template. And then we were learning how the language and structures of those texts were organized. If you could remember how it is organized with a thesis statement, topic sentence, supporting evidences, concluding sentence, and so on, right? So all these were quite simply giving you what? Giving you the essence of, giving you the rule of thumb of, or rather giving you the secret code or blueprint of scientific literature. Once you know all those things before in hand, before you access the university, when you know them well in advance, it's going to be quite easy and quite at hand for you all to master that once you get to the particular department. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's simply a bit of a wrap up of what we have been doing so far. And you were exposed to a bit of a lecture type experiences where we were giving you theoretical and probably very dialogical forums where we talk, you talk, and we were on dialogues like things with which we were trying to give you a bit of a rehearsal as to how you can get into a real STEM lecture, right? So those are the things that we were trying. And in addition to that, if you could remember, we were trying quite simply how to make use of the modern and available generative AI and other technologies and technological modalities to make your life easy, right? We were telling you how you can do it the worst, and we were guiding you as to how you can make it for the best use of it. And we were teaching you plagiarism, citations, and all those academic integrity principles that is to make you very well disciplined graduate. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming towards an end of that, what we call formulaic syllabus, where today we are going to teach you something beyond that. Today we'll be looking at something at discourse level, or rather something at speech level. So when it comes to speeches, when it comes to presentations, one of the key challenges most of the speakers, most of the ESL, English as a second language, like you and me, speakers face is perhaps the stage fear, or rather, you don't know how to begin, how to get the attention of the audience, how to keep their what we call pitch with yours, and how to make it to an effective end. So those are things that we actually were looking today in our lecture. Good evening, Madam Ashwini. You are here.
Good evening.
So I was simply wrapping up, or rather, I was simply recapping, doing a recap of how and what contents have we been teaching to them, and how those things could be relevant in your future life of university. So, and I was just talking about how uh, and what we are going to do today, in which I just gave them a hint, quite simply we are going to deal with presentations. That is the last bit of information that we all have to give you. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have missed someone. We wish that he or she will join soon. Well, move on to the next minute. Let me ask one thing. How do you feel this day? Being it the last, number one, and being it a particular milestone of your academic career, because before you get into the university, you learned what sort of a transition you are required to make within yourself. Having exposed to this whole experience over 20 weeks, how do you feel now? Give us a quick response, maybe switching on your mic and switching on your chat screen, whatever. Just give us a quick hint. How do you feel now? Guys, we would love to hear from you. Taruka, Yasasi, Ishara, Dilum, Swirin, Sanduni, and what a shock we are missing Lakmit today. Maybe he'll be joining halfway. Yes, we'll see. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are expecting you to give us a little hint about how do you feel by now. Taruka, how do you feel right now?
I feel fine.
Yes, Puta?
Sir, you asked about this course, right?
Yes. Well,
Sir, I feel like uh, I learned some things, but not some particular area, but in wide area that I can use in uh, any area I want, like in science, in engineering, mathematics, in every not particular area, but I can use the things sir and madam learn teach us in any that area. Mm,
thank you, Taruka. That's an amazing response, because when you feel like, yes, you can't name the things that you did, but still you know that it is versatile. It can be used anywhere you are going in. Thank you, Taruka, for the inspiring words. Can we hear from Yasasi? Dilum sent me the response, but we would love, Dilum, if you can speak. right? Dilum, can you word it out, please? Yes, Dilum, please speak. Welcome, Farhin. Yes. We got the response from Dilum, but Dilum was trying to speak. I'm just wondering what went wrong. Dilum, if you can speak a little, that's the pleasure of us. Well, until Dilum's thoughts are getting ready, can I ask Yasasi, how do you feel?
Sir, I learned many things from this course. Sir and Madam taught us very clearly, very important facts, very creatively. Uh, I think I learned something new, some new things from this course for my academic field education. Thank you, sir.
Yasasi, do you feel like that you have the toolkit now to hang on your field?
Definitely, sir. Yes.
Thank you, Yasasi. Thank you for the encouraging words. Well, Ishara, it's over to you, darling. Tell us, how do you feel? Ishara, our eyes are greedy to hear from you as well. Until Ishara's thoughts are getting ready, let me invite Sweden. Sweden, how do you feel?
Okay, I feel so blessed and joyful because I gained many things and I met new friends from this entire 20 weeks, within this entire 20 weeks. And yeah, it is so enthusiastic and joyful. And I'm a little bit sad because this is ending from today. And yeah, thank you, Madam Ashmi and Sir, for your everything that you have given to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sidine, for your words. And of course, as I indicated at the very beginning, yes, this is an official ending, but keep in mind that we'll be there until our lives survive, Madam Ashwini and me, and the Department of Languages will be there for you to help you in any academic matter that comes in your life. We'll be there forever with you. Yes. Can we hear from the other fellows, Ishara and Lakmit? Welcome. You are here. We were actually worrying, why aren't you here on this last day?
Good evening, sir. I just got home and
Yeah, we thought you must be on your way, and we wanted you to join somewhere in between. Yes. Ishara, if your thoughts are ready, we were simply looking at how you all do feel right now about, having reached the tail end of the program, having studied lots of things, not connected from one to the other, but interconnected in every way. Not falling within one particular study domain or discipline, but knowing this and that, which are really, really helpful for your academic career. Yes. Can I hear from Ishara now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ishara.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. So I also thank you for the Mr. Prasanna sir and Ashmini madam. So both of you teach us very well, and we also like to learn from you. And now I am an undergraduate student in my university, and our orientation program and English course is started. So this program is really important to my English is intensive program in my university. So thank you, sir, for everything.
Good luck, Ishara. Keep this confidence that you are keeping here and bring it forth and practice that in your intensive program and, succeed there. You all can bag the success, I'm sure. Congratulations. Thank you, Ishara. Well, we heard from, is Yasasi there? Can we hear from you, Yasasi? You spoke? And we want to hear from Dilum, Lakmit, and Yasasi.
Yes, sir, I spoke.
Thank you, Yasasi. Yeah. Yes, we want to hear from Farhin as well. Yes. Lakmit, how do you feel in this very day, being it the last, but as I indicated, it's not the last. We'll be with you all. Yes. Lakmit, it's over to you to tell how you feel.
Uh, when it comes to Acalistem course, I do remember the first workshop we had, the orientation session and everything at UO Moratuva. That was a beautiful lecture also. From the very first day, I was so enthusiastic to join and to do my studies. Uh, so I don't feel like that I had you know those days I had less confidence in speaking English and all the things, but now I feel like I really doing well, and even I express my idea well in English, so I communicate well. And when it comes to academic literacy, uh, I became to read research papers as well, so I'm enjoying reading research papers. So yes, I think it was a good experience. Every good thing must come to an end. So here we are.
Thank you, Lakmit. Encouraging words, and we are glad to hear that you feel confident. That's what we expected from the very first day. Well, can we now hear from Dilun? Yes, Ruda, go ahead.
So can you hear me right now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. First of all, a huge thank to Sir Prasanna and Madam Ashmini for organizing this wonderful program. And I feel so many steps forward than the first day of this program. And I learned a lot of things, and I truly excited to apply these lessons to my university life. Yeah. Uh, thank you thank you very much to both of you again.
Thank you, Dilun. Thank you for expressing your genuine feelings with us. We are glad to have a bunch of kids like you all. You all are a bundle of joy. I don't often use this particular term to refer everyone, but you kids are, the second time that I'm referring this bundle of joy as a phrase to interpret someone, you all are going to be part of that bundle of joy. Thank you very much for being part of that. And we would love to hear from Farhin. And we have Vitanagi as well joined here. Farhin, how do you feel? Farhin, are you there? I'm sure you are there. You are getting ready to respond to us. And in the meantime, Vitanage, if we can, yes, hear from you as well, how you felt towards the end of the program. And we were just wrapping up what we were doing. There is yet to come one particular aspect. Madam Ashwini is getting ready for that. Until then, let us know how you feel by now. We have heard most of yours. It's over to you, Vitanage. Yes, Pudha, go ahead.
Well, most of you know me as none other than Sakit, except Vithanage.
Yeah.
Well, it was a wonderful journey we had with you and Mr. Prasanna and Ma'am Ashwini. Funny, somewhat mischievous we have done there, and we were enthusiastic journey with we get a lot of educational advantages as well as somewhat experiences to in the day-to-day life, how to speak very well and how to direct our speeches, how to do it much more professional and educational manner. So yeah, we knew to do something when when you are doing some assignments, when you are doing some education related stuff. We knew how to do it, but not that specific way. Like we didn't know how to use a mirror board. We didn't know that even existed. Like Google Scholars, we didn't know that we didn't have the accessibility. We didn't have knowledge to do that like that much level. So by joining this program, like, oh, they do exist. We can get the advantage of them. Like even from ChatGPT, AIs, and everything. Rather than asking them to do our work, we did use it a different way. Like giving our ideas and getting just an outline, just getting a summary of that and put interpreting our ideas to them, making a much more appropriate and accurate thing, like to reflect our point of view, not the AI's view, and as well as so it's a quite a fun journey with friends, and we had luck meet the room. I in my group I had all those friends as well as Sweden, and Ma'am Ashwini was very helpful as well as you, Mr. Prasanna, and I think it was a wonderful journey again, and thank you very much for all of you who are dedicated with your blood, sweat, and everything. We know some of we are some kind of bum to you, and well, I think we can use this knowledge to in our university life as well as our educational career ahead of us. And thank you again for your courage, your dedication, and everything you have put into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sakit. That was all, adding to, our hearts, they are bouncing with joy with all these words heard. Farhin, can we hear from you?
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for this opportunity, sir. And madam, I've learned many new things from this course and from the very first day. I learned many professional education from this course for my university studies. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you, Farhin. Thank you. Those were words that are going to echo in our ears. Madam Ashwini, so having heard all those things, I think it's time for us to now go ahead with what you have got today to give them. Madam Ashwini, over to you.
Yes, I share in the presentation.
Sure. Here we are.
Okay. Before that, are you all aware about our assignments? I mean, today's the final day. So, are you all aware about the 3 assignments we are giving you? Just a thumbs up if you all know that. Hi. Uh, yeah. I mean, do you know what are the 3 assignments we'd be giving you? I explained in explain again, okay? Uh, so are we going to explain them the 3 assignments again?
Well, yes, towards the end of the presentation, we'll be going to that. But
Okay, then
I-
we'll do the lesson. Yeah, we'll do the
yeah.
lesson. Okay. So this is simply so we have 2 lessons left. That is delivering one on presentations and one on describing processes and describing processes. Describing processes is a very small lesson, but now the bigger lesson is designing and delivering academic presentations. So now if you go to university now mostly you get continuous assignments. So do you know the meaning of CAs or continuous assignments? Now Ishara has been to university, so you have finished your orientation. So Ishara, did they explain to you about CAs, about continuous assignments in your university? Something called continuous assignments or assessments in your university?
Or perhaps your seniors might have told you about CAs in abbreviated form. As far as I heard, Madam Ashwini, she's still following the orientation program.
Yeah, English course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's like now you get to know you now there's a certain certain uh certain exam you had to undergo called continuous assessments in your university life. That is now there are modules ne? So in a module there are some modules where okay now here in a module okay now see in A levels what you did all the 100 now in A level if we get the subject of biology, all the 100 marks of the biology is based on a written paper, but in university yes. Okay, Shara, right. So now, so it was during your A levels, but now when we come to university, now you have to follow modules for a year. You have to follow like 10 modules, or according to the university degree program or the department, it varies. So when you follow a certain module, now now you get a mark for that module. Now, for that to earn that mark, to earn the 100 marks for that module, all the 100 marks is not based on a written paper. Now, it's like this. In some modules, it can be like 60% of the module mark is based on a end semester written paper, and the rest of the 40% is based on continuous assessments, and it can be like 2 continuous assessment 2020, and these 2 continuous assessments like can be an written assignment, a take home written assignment, and a group presentation or an individual presentation, or something like doing an portfolio or any other a group project or any kind of thing, right? So thing I want to highlight is in universities mostly when you're following a certain when you're in most of the modules that you follow in the university, these modules or the course units, in these course units to earn to earn the 100 marks. All the 100 marks is not given to you based on a written paper. A certain portion of the mark is given to you based on the end semester written paper, and also a certain amount is allocated for continuous assessments, and these continuous assessments are not written papers. They are just like presentations, written assignments, and there are various kinds of assessments. And so uh, one kind of very common continuous assessment in many universities is what? Academic presentations. So as undergraduates, uh, it's beneficial for you to know how to design and deliver academic presentations, because now for a now if for a semester you might get like to deliver up to like 5 academic presentations per semester, right? So because like it's very common for the lecturers to give you to deliver an individual presentation or a group presentation as a CA. And yeah, so do you have anything?
Yes, you were talking about the continuous assessments. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, certain continuous assessments could be, online quizzes, presentations, and sometimes it could be even a portfolio out of many artifacts, out of many projects that you compile a booklet or something, or perhaps a digital story. So it might vary from simple essay writing to anything that you should be able to do as a professional in the field. So this continuous assessment is actually a plus point for you, because if you are to keep postponing learning till the exam date, or rather till the what we call reading week, you're going to miss the whole learning process. Now, these continuous assessments are given to you for a purpose, that is to ensure that, when you learn somewhere up to certain level, when you happen to learn on a certain module, the lecturers do give you an assignment with which you are going to apply that thing and show the university back, or your lecturer back, that you are capable of doing it. So that in smaller splitted doses, you are going to learn it little by little, so that at the end of the day, you know what you have learned. That's number one. The second advantage is, before you go for the examination, if you can earn nearly, I can remember in my days, we were given 40 to 60%, 40 for continuous assessments and 60 for the final exam paper. We actually planned for A's and A pluses. How we planned was, we actually tried to go beyond 30 level from the 40 given up for the CAs. So if we can simply pass above 30 from continuous assessments, we know that out of the 60 from the paper, we have to just get nearly 40 or 40 plus. So it's not a big deal. So that this is a wonderful way for you to actually try and, aim at higher results at the exam. So that's it, what I have to add on assessments, continuous assessments. Take it as a blessing, because as you digest a little, then you can perform in it, and from that you can earn marks and go ahead. It's like a hurdle race, when you pass one hurdle, you are done with 10 meters, and when you pass the second hurdle, you know that you are done with 20 meters, and so on. So it's such a thing. Try it, enjoy it, and take it as something interesting and something that contributes to your learning. Yes, madam.
Okay, we can go to the next slide, sir. Right, so these are the objectives. Yeah, so we'll talk about this. We'll achieve these. So yeah, you can go to the next slide, sir. So academic presentations, key skill in university and professional STEM fields. Yeah. So it mainly why we do a presentation is to show our understanding about a certain concept. Like now, why our lecturers give us a presentation as a continuous assessment is to test our understanding is to generally test our understanding about a certain concept. And also they are testing our communication skills. Now they are testing whether we have understood a certain concept and whether we could actually teach that concept to an audience, or just communicate what we have learned from that concept, or just what can we like they are just testing us testing like um what new insights we have that about what we new insights we have got about that concept, and likewise. So yeah, so that's why they use a lot of presentations as continuous assessments. And yeah, so you can move to the next slide. Yeah, so now presentations, so these are the I mean uh
Typically, these are the challenges that
yeah, typically
everyone
these are
faces.
the challenges. Yeah, so we all know, like, we feel nervous and anxious when we are going to do a presentation. I mean, come in front of a crowd and just doing a speech is very much nervous and anxious for any person. So the anxiety and nervousness level lowers, it changes and varies according to the person. But yeah, so and also a big mistake is that people, like, now when we are using a PowerPoint presentation, they try to put a lot stiff stuff the slides with lot of information. Like, they put lots of paragraphs, lot of images, lots of text onto the slide, and they overcrowd the slide. And then the viewer or the audience, people in the audience who sees the slide, like, it's not very appealing to the audience. Like, they feel like confused to look at the slide. And also poor timing and structure. Then ලොකු දෙයක් තමයි, now when we are doing a presentation, some people are there, like, they do not now okay දැන් presentation එකක් දෙනකොට CA එකේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට CA එකේ assessment එකේ guidelines දෙනවා. guidelines එකේ කියනවා time limit එකක් දෙනවා 10 minutes ද 5 minutes ද එහෙම කියලා. එතකොට ඔගොල්ලෝ 5 minutes දෙනවා නම් ඒ lecturer 5 minutes වලට time කරනවා. හරිද? එතකොට 5 minutes වලදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉවර කරේ නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අර over time යනවා කියලා time එක exceed කරාම ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ චුටි يعني ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ marks deduct වෙනවා. right? so සමහර ඉන්නවා time limit එක ගැන conscious නැහැ යාලා. ඔහේ කියාගෙන යනවා. එතකොට වෙන්නේ, දැන් අපි හිතමු 5 minutes කියලා. එතකොට 5 minutes වල දැන් අපි හිතමු presentation එකේ තියෙනවා introduction, body, conclusion කියලා එයා බෙදාගත්ත කෙන presentation එකේ. එතකොට එයා 5 minutes වලින් අපි හිතමු එයා 3 minutes ම අරන් දෙන introduction එක එයා ඔහේ කියවගෙන යනවා. එතකොට එයා කොහොම හරි body එක මැදදී එයාගේ 5 minutes ඉවර වෙලා එයාට කොහොම හරි මේ එතකොට 5 minutes ඉවරයිනේ. එතකොට lecturer judge කරන්නේ අර 5 minutes වලින් වලදී කිව්ව දේවල් විතරයි. so එයාගේ එතකොට එතෙන්දී එයාට ලකුණු අඩු වෙනවා. so you have to like practice your presentation according to your timing. And time kalla you have to practice. So we discuss about it. And the structure, you have to have a clear structure when you are delivering a presentation. You can't be like wandering here and there. You can't be having like moving from this point to another without any logical sequence. And also there can be technical problems. Now, for example, if you are using PowerPoint slides and if you are showing videos, audios, ඒවා play වෙන්නේ නැහැ, sounds එන්නේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ මොනවා හරි digital tools, interactive tools පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් ඒවා හරියට මේව වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මොනවා හරි online video එකක් පෙන්වනවා නම් එතන Wi-Fi connectivity එක නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ battery charge plugins නැහැ, charge මදි. So there are many technical problems. And also we'll address how to overcome this. So have you so in the university, so you have a range of presentations that you get. So you get individual presentations, group presentations, online presentations. So these poster presentations. So now poster presentations ගොඩක් කලාවට ඉන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ fourth year එකේ වගේ research එක publish කරලා ඒකේ results දෙනකොට, කියන්නේ ඒකේ results ඒකේ මේ results මේ audience එකට communicate කරන්න වගේ තමයි poster presentations ගොඩක් මෙන්නේ undergraduate කාලේ. So we'll be not talking about poster presentations today, but in your undergraduate first, second, third වගේ years වල ගොඩක් මෙන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට individual group online presentations. So we will focus on these 3 types of presentations today. So yeah, shall we move on to the next presentation? Yeah. Yes. So now හරි. දැන් ඔකට presentation එකක් දෙනවා. Now you are given a like ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දැන් assessment එක දෙන්නකොට when you are given an assessment as a presentation, the step 1 is you are given a question, right? You are given a question and asked to do a presentation. And now, first is that you have to know your purpose, and you can ask yourself, what is the goal of your presentation? Okay, you can just ask, is it to inform something, explain, persuade, demonstrate? That inform, I mean, yes, that is now for example ගමුකෝ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තියෙනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දෙනවා presentation title එක දෙනවා මොකද්ද for inform we can tell just to කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ හදාගත්ත කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොන හරි මේ අලුත් concept එකක් ගැන you are going to inform the audience. I mean the audience doesn't know anything about your new finding or anything, and you are going to inform the audience, right? And explain is just you, I mean explain එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියන්න පුළුවන් audience assessment question එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් මොකක් හරි අපි කිව්ව මොකක් හරි book chapter එකක් කියවලා හරි මොකක් හරි theory එකක් ගැන කියවලා හරි ඒ theory එක පොතක් හරි කියවලා ඒ පොතේ තියෙන අදහස ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දැනෙන විදිය ගැන explain කරන්න කියලා. හරි අන්නේ explain කරලා ඒ ගැන presentation එක. Then that is explain. Persuading කියන්නේ නිකම් අර I mean එතකොට නිකන් අර ඒ කියන්නේ අර නිකන් අර motivate කරන්න I mean එතකොට අර දැන් අපි හිතුවොත් presentations මෙහෙම ගත්තොත් දැන් presentations තියනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට සමහර වෙලාවට කරන්න impact එකක් කරන්න presentations එක කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ research එකක් කරනවා එහෙම නැත්නම් අර මොන හරි දැන් drug addicts ලට ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ නැත්නම් අර ළමයින්ට නැත්නම් teenagers ලගේ sleeping cycles ටික හදාගන්න විදියට ඒගොල්ලන්ව persuade කරන්න. කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ sleeping cycles එක විදියකට හදාගන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ට කොහොමද ඒගොල්ලන්ව motivate කරන්න කියලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට presentation එකක් කරන්න කියනවා. හරි? Then you are persuading teenagers, right? And demonstration is again something like දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට එනවා prototypes කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ අපි හිතමු final year project එකට හරි මොකක් හරි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ වෙන මොකක් හරි එකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොකක් හරි system එකක් හදනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි ඒ කියන්නේ අපි හිතමු IT project එකක් නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොකක් හරි මොන හරි මොකද you are making just a system. එලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ පොඩි demonstration එකක් කරනවා how the system works. මේ system එක මේ ඉන්පුට් එක දැම්මම මේක මේ අවුට්පුට් එක එනවා ඊට පස්සේ මේ සිස්ටම් එකේ මේ තමයි කම්පෝනන්ට්ස් ටික ඊට පස්සේ මේ විදිහට තමයි වැඩ කරන්නේ සිස්ටම් එක අන්න ඒකේ තමයි ඒ වගේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒ සිස්ටම් එක නැත්නම් ඒ ඉක්විප්මන්ට් එක හදපු ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔඩියන්ස් එකට හඳුන්වනවා that is demonstration, right? So according to your goal, according to your goal, your purpose guides your structure and content, right? The first thing is you have to know what your purpose is, right? Yes. So do you have anything to add, sir?
Actually, nothing. I was just trying to annotate some of those things. Now, the first thing is quite simple. Before you go to do the presentation, look at the question and see what the question expects for you to do as a presentation. So it can be about informing, explaining, persuading, or demonstrating. So based on the purpose of the presentation, you have to choose a different structure. That is the simple idea, right? Okay, let's move to the next slide now.
Right. Next one is now you know your purpose and then you have to know your audience, right? Now, you have to consider, you have to know your audience. Now, are they subject experts or a general audience? Now, for example, ඔයගොල්ලන්ට දැන් අපිට කියනවා English හරි දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියනවා ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ඉංග්‍රීසි මොඩියුල් එක දැන් ඉංග්‍රීසි ගොඩක් ලාට යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ ඉංග්‍රීසි මොඩියුල් එකක් තියෙනවානේ. ඒකට මේ ඉංග්‍රීසි මොඩියුල් එකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් කරන්න කියනවා. ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් ටොපික් එකේ එනවා මොකක් හරි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් රිලේටඩ් මැටර් එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් අපි හිතමු ඔයා බයොලොජි හරි ෆිසික්ස් හරි මොකක් හරි එහෙම මේ මොකක් හරි ටොපික් එකක් සිලෙක්ට් කරගෙන ඒ තියරි එකක් එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්න කියලා හරි මොකක් හරි එහෙම එකක් එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්න කියලා. එතකොට ඔයාගේ ඔඩියන්ස් එක කවුද? ඉංග්‍රීසි ලෙක්චරර්. හැබැයි ඉංග්‍රීසි ලෙක්චරර් කියන්නේ එයා මේ ෆිසික්ස් වත් සයන්ස් වත් ඉගෙන ගත්ත කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයි. එයා ජෙනරල් කෙනෙක්. එතකොට එයාට අපි ඔයා තියෙන ෆිසික්ස් ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන මොකක් හරි concept එක අර මේ කියන්නේ අර ගොඩාක් technical terms ඒ වගේ දාලා explain කරොත් so that's not I mean that's not successful, right? But if you go to the lecturers now, if it's a like if you're doing a presentation explaining a physics concept to your physics lecturer, then he's a subject expert. Then you can use all your subject terminology and everything, right? So then you can be very much high standard. You can use high standard terminology, high standard language, and high standard images, everything, uh, and everything. So you have to always think what background knowledge do they have. කියන්නේ පොඩ්ඩක් හිතන්න ඔයාලා දැන් explain කරන concept එක ගැන presentation එකේ මේ audience එකට කලින් ඒ audience එක මොන හරි කලින් ඒ concept එක ගැන දෙයක් දන්නවද? එහෙම දන්නේ නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ presentation එකේ introduction එකට පොඩ්ඩක් background knowledge එකක් දීලා පටන් ගන්න. And also tailor your level of detail and language according. ඔයාගේ audience එකට ඉංග්‍රීසි ඒ කියන්නේ ඉංග්‍රීසි level එක දැනගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඔයාලට කලින් if the English level is not very high ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගොඩක් ලොකු English level එකකට යන්න කියන එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අවාසි. But then you can lower your English level and speak in a very speak in very simple terms, right? That's it. So step 1 is knowing your purpose. Step 2 is knowing your audience and tailoring your presentation according to your audience, right? So do you have any things to
Yeah,
add, sir?
of course. Now, the last point, tailor your level of detail and language accordingly. When Madam Ashwini tells you how should you change your language to fit into your audience, that actually, that resonates in my mind. You know why? Madam Ashwini often cites on me the way that I speak in certain instances. So, for example, when I get into Senate or the higher order level what you call meetings, and she tells now, okay, you can use that high cognitive learned vocabulary there, sir, not with the children. So that's how she often guides me even as to how the correct language be used. The very idea is this. ඔබ ඉදිරියේ ඉන්න පාඨකයාට තේරෙන භාෂාව කතා කරන්න. ඔබ ඉදිරියේ ඉන්න පාඨකයාට ඔබ භාෂාව දන්නා බව පෙන්වන්නට කතා කරන්න එපා. That's the takeaway message. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Yes.
So yeah. So again, this is defining your message. So just කියන්නේ presentation එක කරන්න කලින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හිතන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ message එක concise කරගන්න, short කරගන්න. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ presentation එකෙන් දැන් ගොඩාක් දෙනවනේ. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මෙහෙමයි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ presentation එකේ time limit එකක් දෙනවා 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. හැබැයි හිතන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඔය presentation එක ඇතුළට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නයක් තමයි අර ලොකු ඔයගොල්ලෝ රිසර්ච් කරලා ලොකු දේවල් ගොඩක් හොයාගත්ත. හැබැයි ඔය හොයාගත්ත ලොකු හැම දෙයක්ම අර 5 minutes හරි 10 minutes ඇතුළත හරි කියන්නම් වෙලාව මදි. ඒ ඔක්කොම දේවල් slides එකට දාන්නත් වෙලාව මදි. හරි. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ පුළුවන් නම් 5 ඒ කියන්නේ 3 හරි key points 3කට හරි 5කට හරි ෂෝට් කරගන්න ඔයාගේ මෙසේජ් එක ඔඩියන්ස් එකට දෙන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔඩියන්ස් එක ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් කියන්නේ තමයි අහගෙන ඉන්න දෙයක්නේ. අහගෙන ඉන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්න දෙයක්. එතකොට මේ විනාඩි 5 හරි විනාඩි 10 හරි ඉවරුණා අහගෙන හිටියට පස්සේ අහගෙන ඉන්න මිනිස්සයාගේ ඔළුවේ මතක හිටින කරුණු 3ක් හරි කරුණු 5ක් හරි විතරක් ඔයා මේ ජොට් ඩවුන් කරගන්න ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක හදන්න. හරිද? අන්න ඒ කරුණු 5 හරි 3 يعني පහක් ගන්න يعني විනාඩි 10ක වගේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකක් ගන්න කරුණු 5ක් ගත්තට කමක් නැහැ. විනාඩි 3ක් වගේ කරුණු 5ක් ගත්තට කමක් නැහැ විනාඩි 5ක වගේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන්. හරිද? ඒතර මෙන්න මේ වගේ ක්ලියර්ලි ඩිෆයින් කරගෙන يعني කන්සයිස් කරගෙන key points 3කට වගේ ලිමිට් කරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ අන්න ඒ key points 3 බේස් කරගෙන ඔයාගේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක හදනවට පුළුවන්. හරිද? එතකොට අර තියෙන avoid trying to cover everything. අර presentations වලදී අර ගොඩක් මේ කට්ටියට මෙතන time limit එක over යන්නේ අර විනාඩි 5 විනාඩි 10 ඇතුළත අර ගොඩාක් දේවල්. ඒ කියන්නේ දන්න ඒ කියන්නේ රිසර්ච් කරලා හොයාගත්ත හැමදේම කියවන්න යනකොට අර මේ එයාට ෂෝට් කරගන්න බැරි වෙනවා. හරි. අන්න ඒකට තමයි තියෙන්නේ අර ඔයා හිතන්න දැන් මේක අහගෙන ඉන්න මිනිස්සෙක්නේ. මේ මිනිස්සයා මගේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක ඉවර වුණාට පස්සේ මෙයාට ඔළුවට දාගන්න ලේසි පොයින්ට්ස් 3ක් හරි පොයින්ට්ස් 5ක් හරි ඔයා ජොට් ඩවුන් කරගන්න. හරි. මම මේ පොයින්ට්ස් 3 වටා තමයි මගේ ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක හදන්නේ. Right? So that's simply defining your message before you build up your presentation. So do you have anything to add, sir?
Yeah, just a simple thing. Now, if you could remember the second fact, with this magnifying glass effect, the middle fact, focus on clarity and simplicity. Now, remember, these are interconnected. When you know what you're going to talk and when you know what is your audience and when you know your subject matter, the next thing is, if you could remember, on the very first day, I was talking about the crystal clear communication. Now, academic communication has to be crystal clear. What you tell should be the one that your audience should understand. It should not be something else. So we call it telepathic communication. So keep in mind, you are given presentations to sharpen your ability to do this telepathic communication, right? So keeping that in mind, make sure that you use the simplest possible language with the clearest diction or rather word selection in it, with which you can quite easily communicate the idea. Well, that's my 2 pennies on this slide. Let's move.
So simply this is a common structure for an academic presentation. So you can have the introduction with the background and telling your purpose of doing the presentation, and you can have the body with your 3 or 5 points and giving examples, and then you can come to the conclusion with the summary and the takeaway message. So this is the simple. This is a very common structure of an academic presentation.
Yes, and
nothing to explain here.
Yeah, there's one thing. Now, you have learned what are the key layouts of journal papers, and then you have learned the key layout or template of essays. And now you are going to see the layout of an academic presentation. Do you see any similarity in those? Or are they different from one to the other? They could be different from one to the other depending on the context and length, but you might notice that an essay, a journal article, a thesis, a presentation, all structured in a very simple format: introduction, body, and conclusion, right? The things that we taught to you how to do when you are doing an essay is equally appealing to when you're doing a presentation like this. That also has introduction, body, and conclusion structure. This structure is there because, once again, referring to what I taught earlier, crystal clear communication. When there is a crystal clear flow and organization, then things will be quite crystal clear communicated. Do you notice any similarity? That's my point. Do you notice any similarity in all those structures we were teaching? You can simply respond us, yes or no. And with that, we can go to rule 3. Yes. What is distinguishing your presentation a good one or a bad one? This
So can you explain this rule of three?
yes,
Yeah, I think
yeah. So good presentation often follows that layout. What is it? It begins with a general introduction. Quite simply, if you are going to talk about something, you have to connect it in the very big picture because your audience is not knowing what you are exactly going to talk about. So there has to be a little bit of an introduction connecting your audience with you and your subject matter. If you could remember, we were talking about the three aspects in presentations. If you could remember, in persuasive and exploratory essays, we were talking about ethos, pathos, and logos. Can you remember? Right? And they include subject matter, the speaker, and the listener. Here also, in the introduction, what you are going to do is you are going to connect them all together. You are speaking and you're getting the attention of your speaker to the subject you are talking. So introduction serves to do that purpose, right? And then you're going to tell them in the main body what on what logics. Madam Ashwini was referring to three facts that you should wrap your whole presentation into. So in the main body, you are delivering, elaborating on the three main points or main logics, main ideas that you're going to express in the presentation. And when you're coming to the conclusion, you have to go back once again to your introduction and thesis, if you could remember. And throughout your main points, what you were doing is quite simply, you were proving a logic. And in the conclusion, you have to restate what you were trying to do, what you did, and you have to prove that you attain to that conclusion. If you can follow such a rhetorical structure in your presentation, what you're doing is you are communicating crystal clear. You are giving them an idea that is in your mind in a telepathic note to your reader. So this is quite simply the rule of three: introduction, body, and conclusion. Introduction deals with connect, hook, and the thesis. Body is all about three facts and proving your logic. And conclusion is all about telling your audience that you did this using these facts and proving it. That is the rule of three. Madam Ashwini, have you got something to add to this?
no. I mean, tell them what you will tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them and tell them what you told them. It's simple.
Yes. Let's move on to the next. This is about.
Yeah. So this is slides. Yeah. You can go ahead, sir.
Now, remember that in a speech, a presentation, it's not only your voice that matters. Now, you're bringing a whole lot of attention onto the stage, and your audience is looking at you. And when they are looking at you, it's not only your words, but also your appearance, but also what you take as visual aids that matters, right? So one of the most common visual aids that we use today is PowerPoint slides or any other slides with animation, right? Now, in presentations, some of you do try to write down the entire presentation on slides. Do not do this mistake because they want key terms to key phrases to appear on bullet points on the presentation, and you have to articulate, you have to speak about the elaborate phrasing of all that. So you do your presentation and your keywords, your bullet points, your main points appear as text supporters. And in a single slide, do not go beyond 5 to 7 slides. This is not just a prescription. It's actually one of the researchers done in somewhere back in 1997 and repeated every year by the TED organization, that they found that most effective slides often has 5 to 7 lines in a slide. That's why we say you to go not to go beyond this number of slides. And about the font size, when you are showing something on a bigger screen, if it is still smaller, There is no purpose of putting it in bigger screen. Therefore, make it in a readable font size, at least 25 font size, with which you can get a better vision. And one of the biggest things that you can do is, in your presentation slides, in addition to the words and key terms, you can use graphs, images, diagrams, elaborations, or animations even. All those things are simple modalities that you can add into your presentation, with which you are projecting something more than your voice and your speech. So that is about designing effective slides. And you must be wondering why we are prescribing all these things. We are prescribing and reminding you all these things because one of your final presentations, or rather assignments, will be a presentation, and we'll guide you through how to do it, and we'll help you how to do it, and this is part of that helping. Am I right, ma'am? Yes.
Yes. You have to do your 1CA for this course is a presentation. You have to do an academic presentation. So please be attentive throughout this lesson.
So we are here about using visuals effectively. Some of you, my dear guys, do like to watch pandols. තොරම් බලන්න ආසයිනේ. Right? Presentation එකක් කියන්නේ තොරණක් නෙවෙයි මගේ පුතේ. Right? සමහර presentation වලට එනකොට සමහර ගෑනු ළමයිනුත් තොරන් වගේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ පාට කරලා, I'm not going to explain much, but neither you, the presenter, nor your presentation slide should be a torana or pandol or a decoration. When you are using an image, make sure that you use the image to support your idea and the key term or logic that you're going to use with that text. And when you are actually using diagrams, make sure that you label them correctly, because when you bring a diagram is simply an illustration with strokes, colors, and objects. In a diagram, you don't see text. So a diagram or a picture can be interpreted by your listener in many ways. Therefore, if you want to communicate your idea, you have to properly label your diagram. Then your reader, your listener, your audience will start to think like you. That's why you use a label for your diagram. And remember that when you put a graph on the screen, it doesn't mean that everyone understands it. Everyone can read it. Everyone can see through the points that you connected, the dots that you connected in the graph. Therefore, explain the graph verbally. Explain the diagram verbally, right? And remember, as we talk in essays, one paragraph for one idea. Can you remember? One sentence for one idea, one paragraph for one theme. The same way, one idea per one slide. So that is simply the effective visual usage in your presentation. And with that, we are moving to the next slide. Madam Ashwini. Yes, let me go ahead. We have told you the 7-line principle. When you're using too much text, audience won't be able to read them or listen. හිතාගන්නකෝ subtitles එක movie එකක් යනකොට ඔයා subtitle කියවන්න පටන් ගත්තාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාට අහුම්කම් දෙන්න අමතක කරනවා. Right? The same happens in the presentation. So don't do that mistake. Right? And remember, ඔයා presentation එකක් කරනකොට ඔයාගේ presentation එකේ slides වල colors, contrast, ඒව ගැනත් හිතන්න. ඔයා හිතන්නේ නැති simple දේවල්. You have to make sure that you are right, that your drawings, that your illustrations, that your text is cool to the eyes of the audience. Low quality image, actually, if you have a low quality image, better you do not use it. Instead, use a word and explain it, right? Simply a low quality something that appears in your presentation slide is an indication of your not so professional look, right? And remember, using animations, videos, music, and all those things can be an additive, or rather can be an addition to your presentation, but too much of them might be distracting your eye. So use them in the right order, right dose, not too much, not too little, but the right dose. That's it. And how should you plan your delivery? Remember, most of you do think that you are very much experts in doing presentations because you know that you happen to do it a couple of times. But remember, take every presentation as a brand new attempt that you make. Therefore, for everything, at least do a little bit of practice. Little bit of practice in the sense you don't need to utter every word, every sentence, every narration in your presentation, but at least go through the slides a couple of times to see whether you're projecting your message in each slide with each point indicated in the slide. And that will help you time yourself, because time is a very crucial concern in your presentation. And you can use cue cards with keywords. This is quite simple. Now, since you are using a PowerPoint slide, it is a helpful tool. And at the same time, it needs to be garnished with your words. It should be helped with your words. When you're using your words, you don't need to write the entire narration. You can use certain cue cards to simply keep in a line of order. You know what comes next and what words that you should, what themes that you should use in that slide is in a little cue cards in your hands, with which you can actually do your presentation to the best of its classy outlook. And remember, transitions. You often plan transitions in your slide, between your slides, but you very rarely plan transitions in your speech, or rather in your narration. Keep in mind, not only in your presentation slide that we need a transition, but also in your presentation speech, your narration, when you do the presentation, there has to be a transition. That's why when we come to the last point here, we move on to the next slide. When I indicate that we are moving on to the next slide, it is an indication with the words that we are moving to the next slide. And of course, with that, the audience is getting ready to move to the next. Yes. Madam Ashwini happened to share something on chat. Madam, do you need to add or rather give a word on it?
No.
Well, that you can read through. Yes. This is quite simply the body language tips. You know, it's not only the words that you articulate, you speak becomes language. Not only the text and diagrams that you use on your slide that is becoming language. Do you know? Your body itself is a language, because your face is a place where everyone looks at and you keep eye contact, and you use your hands and movements with your limbs with which you actually make what? Connections with them. So ensure that you become a lively mediator of your body language as well, right? Stand tall, face your audience. Now, if you happen to meet me and Madam Ashwini in a real life, you know that how tall are we, right? But when you are in front of the audience, remember that your height is not measured in inches and centimeters. It is measured in the classy presentation you are doing, the classy words that you are putting into the presentation, the classy flow that you add to your presentation. So in front of an audience, even a dwarf can appear like a giant. So amoebas do actually appear like mammoths because of their presentation skills. And keep that in mind. Stand tall, because your audience is looking at you, not at anything else, right? And remember, Make sure that you use your hand gestures naturally. You don't need to practice. Like like in අපි නොදන්න live එකේ එහෙම තියෙන්නේ කොටුව කියද්දි කොටුව ඇදලා පෙන්නන්න ඕන නෑ මල් කියද්දි මෙහෙම රවුම් අඳින්න ඕන නෑ right simply let your hands to move as they when you speak right yes අර චූටි මල්ලි පොඩි මල්ලි වගේ හිනාව කියද්දි මෙහෙම ඇදලා පෙන්නලා මල් අඳින්න යන්න ඕන නෑ just let your hands speak they will when they need to speak right and let them freely help your speech that's what we are telling use natural hand gestures. Well, smile and make. Your face is the central focal attention of the audience. Keep a smile always on your face. And on top of the smile, there has to be an eye contact, right? You can keep an eye contact with your audience by looking at them, not randomly, not occasionally, but actually throughout the presentation, you should be looking at someone's eye. Not a single person's eye. You should be looking at different people you choose from different locations of the audience. Look at them often and keep your eye contact. And what is pacing and fidgeting? Fidgeting means, you fast forward. Pacing means you quite simply take long time on a particular slide and you pass through a particular slide quickly. Don't do that. Each slide should be given a rational, reliable, and actually due time for each slide and your speech. It has to be, full of flow without pacing and fidgeting. Well, in the meantime, you might see that Madam Ashwini keeps posting a lot on your presentation, right? Keep them
No, it's not related to that. Yeah, you can move to the next slide. I'll explain the next slide.
Okay. I thought that you were, well, voice control tips. Now, do you need to practice in a presentation? I'm going to speak this in high, loud noise, and I'm going to speak this in a very low noise. You don't need to. Just be part of the story that you're speaking. And when you deliver your story, when you present your story, speak in the very speed that it requires. Slow and clear speech is the best. Not the very fast and, තප්පරයට ලොරියක් වචන කියන අවශ්‍ය නැහැ presentation එක. You just go ahead with your words, put in right speed, slowly, but certainly clearly. And keep in mind that you project your voice. Project your voice in the sense, it is the voice that is the central attention of the whole thing. Not your presentation, not your mouth, not your lipstick, not your eye, not your costume, not your animation. But it's your voice that actually functions like a current in your presentation with which you can actually shock your audience. Do project it. And remember, in written language, we use commas, punctuations, full stops, periods, semicolons, and all that. That is applied in speech as well. In speech, your commas indicate your pauses. Long pauses indicate your full stops. And when you emphasize on something, you see the repetition comes in. So use them, pauses and effects. And one thing, where you are turned to avoid monotony. Now, එක දිගට එක විදිහට ගාථාවක් වගේ සජ්ජායනය කරන්න යන්න එපා. Turn. Make your presentation has ups, downs, peaks, and slow motions. And of course, at the same time, high-pitched, low-pitched, and stops. These things, voice is going to be making with these things, your voice is going to make your presentation a very amazing thing. This handling nerves thing, I think Madam Ashwini is much more capable of explaining this. Madam, will you?
Now, simply this is just practicing is handling your nerves. I mean, if you're very nervous, practice builds your confidence, and you can get some 2 or 3 deep breaths before you start your presentation. And now, just now, okay, now before doing your presentation, you have all these thoughts like, okay, will I be able to do the presentation? Will I be this and this? And you're overthinking and everything. Will I get the full marks for this presentation? What will lecturers think of me? Is my costume attractive? And you get like 1,000 questions about yourself. But now, and you become nervous, right? And will I be able to speak good English while doing my presentation? Will I forget my English and everything? So just focus on your message. Now, දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් step 3 එකේ එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ message එකක් හදාගත්තනේ points 3කට හරි points 5කට හරි concise කරලා short කරලා presentation එකට අන්න ඒ short කරගත්ත points 5ට හරි 3 ගැන විතරක් focus කරන්න. ඒ 3 විතරක් focus කරලා අන්න ඒ 3 ගැන focus කරලා චුට්ටක් ඒ 3 ගැන චුට්ටක් පොඩ්ඩක් කල්පනා කරලා deep breaths 3ක් 5ක් ගන්නකො ටිකක් පොඩි භාවනාවක් කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ පොඩ්ඩක් hina වෙලා presentation එක පටන් ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයාගෙන මොනවද අනිත් දේවල් හිතන්න එපා. And also perfect කරන්න බෑ අපිට. But mistakes තියේවි. But අර මං කිව්ව දේ ගැන විතරක් හිතේ ඔළුවේ තියාගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ presentation එක පටන් ගන්න. Then it's okay. Right. So do you have anything to add, sir?
Well, I think we've been talking everything. Yes.
Yeah. We can move to the next slide, sir.
Now this is...
Yeah. So questions. Yeah. You
Go
can
ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
No, I think it's better because...
All right, perfect. Now keep in mind, when you're dealing with your audience, or perhaps your panel of judges, you have to deal with questions. And this is perhaps the most awkward moment that you feel towards the presentation. And perhaps because of this, that you're going to make the entire presentation gaudy or ugly, right? Remember, questions are asked at the end of the presentation. That's number one. Number two, if you are going to talk a lot, you are going to have a lot of questions. That's why we advise you to have simple couple of facts in your presentation. And if you do rehearsal and if you know your story, the questions will be based on your story that you told. Therefore, if you listen carefully to the question on the story that you told, it is not going to be a question at all because you know the whole story, right? And remember, if you need to understand the question, if any speaker speaks in very smart English in a faster way without letting you to understand it, you have the right to invite him to repeat, right? That is the way of that you get the question. And at the same time, if you need time to answer the question, right? Remember that your thought process needs time to answer the question. So while you are answering the question, you can repeat the question, or rather you can say the same question in other words, of your own words. When you utter this question in your own words, what happens is your cognitive load is reduced. And of course, at that time, you take time to understand the question and respond to it, right? And when you answer a question, maybe it's the simplest question. You can answer in 10 minutes, but don't take much time to answer. Give the briefest possible answer in the clearest form, right? And if there is anything unclear, unsure, or misty, you don't need to pretend, or rather, if you are unsure, admit it, right? And admit karla, you can simply direct the same question to the audience because you are the focus attention of the presentation. So if you are asked about a very strong, very complicated question, you can simply put in a what you call reflective question. How? Well, I'm capable of answering this question. Say, for example, අමාරු ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා. මම උත්තර දෙන්න මෙහෙමයි. ඔයාලා sure නැහැ. ඔයා කියනවා මෙහෙම. Yes, I'm capable of answering question, but I would love to hear the audience. Let me ask the audience, what is your point? Right? So that a writer might turn up and give you the answer with which you can actually refine your answer and give. So use these strategies. If you're going to use such strategies, you are going to be strategically successful in your presentation. And with that, I'm sure that you are going to master the presentation in such a way where your audience thinks that you are an orator, right? So that's about managing questions. Madam Ashwini, have you got something to add here? Well,
Can move on to the next slide.
yes. Can you go ahead with this, please?
Yeah, so group presentations. So then when you're even a group presentations, group එකේ number of members උත් දෙනවා 5 members, the 4 members එහෙම කියලා. So එතෙන්දී group එකේ හැමෝමලා plan කරන්න team එකක් විදියට වැඩ බෙදා ගන්න. I mean free riders ලා ඉන්න බෑ group එක. ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රශ්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So you have to like يعني collaboratively වැඩේ බෙදා ගන්න. and ඔයගොල්ලෝ topics logically බෙදා ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි හිතමු ලොකු ටොපික් එකක් සහ අපි හිතමු දැන් අපි ලොකු ටොපික් එක දෙනවා මේන් ටොපික් එක දෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ අපි හිතමු group members ලා 6ක් නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒ ටොපික් එක ලොකු මේන් ටොපික් එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ සබ් ටොපික්ස් 6කට බෙදලා ඒ කියන්නේ equally workload එක ඒ members ට 6 දෙනාටම divide කරන්න. එතකොට අර කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඔය group presentations වල ගොඩක් කලාවට මුළු group එකේ හැමෝටම දෙන්නේ එක common mark එකක්. එතකොට ඔය group presentations වල ගොඩක් ඉන්නේ free riders ලා ඉන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ free riders ලා කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. එයාලා අන්තිම මොහොතේ ඇවිල්ලා මේ කියන්නේ presentation එකට තමන්ගේ නම දාගන්න විතරක් එනවා. ඊට පස්සේ present කරන්නේ පොඩි වෙලාවක් වගේ. ඒක නැත්නම් present කරන්නේව නැහැ. අන්න ඒ වගේ එනවා. නැත්නම් අර සමහර present lecturers ලා ඉන්නවා they tell that okay all the members of the group should present and they give an individual mark for all the members also. හරිද? එහෙම හොඳයි. නැත්නම් ඒ වගේම තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ presentation එකට prepare වෙනකොට slides හදනකොට හරි research කරනකොට හරි එහෙම කරනකොට හරි ඔයගොල්ලෝ main topic එක අරගෙන sub topics divide කරගන්න number of members ලට allocate වෙන විදියට නැත්නම් ඒ වගේම sub topics බෙදා ගන්නකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒ කියන්නේ freedom එක දෙන්න group members ලට ඒගොල්ලෝ කැමති sub topic එක select කරගන්න. මොකද ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ interest තියෙන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ මොකක් හරි sub topic එක ගැන ගොඩක් skillful වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකට ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒ sub topic එකට ගොඩක් input දෙන්න පුළුවන්. right? and ඒ වගේ අර ගොඩක් logically හිතලා මේ workload එක divide කරලා topics ටික divide කරගන්න. ඒකට group එකක් විදිහට practice කරගන්න. එකතු වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ timing and transitions coordinate කරගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ එක ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ විනාඩි 5 minutes නම් presentation එක නැත්නම් 10 minutes නම් members ලා 5ක් ඉන්නවනම් then 10 minutes presentation now if it's 5 members හැම member කෙනෙක්ම 2 minutes වලට ready වෙන්න ඕනේ එයාගේ presenting time එක right so ඒ වගේ time එක හැම එක්කෙනාටම fair වෙන විදිහට time එක බෙදා ගන්න ඊට පස්සේ transitions වලදී දැන් first එක්කෙනාගෙන් second member ට transit වෙනකොට like first member ට introduce කරන්න පුළුවන් okay now I talked about these aspects and also there are these aspects which are to be discussed by this person කියලා යාට second member introduce කරන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ වගේ පොඩි transition techniques use කරන්න පුළුවන්. And so do you have anything to add, sir?
No, but I think that's crystal clear. Let's move.
Okay, you can go to the next slide. So yeah. And group presentations, team delivery, and මම කතා කරන්නේ smooth handover between speakers. Again, speakers ලාගේ වෙනස් වෙනවානේ. එතකොට wait. Sorry. Right. So yeah, smooth handovers between speakers and support each other during Q&A. And also then අපිට තියෙනවා question and answer session එක එනවානේ. එතකොට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට group එකට collaboratively answers දෙන එකක් තමයි එන්නේ. එතකොට මේ group එකට collaboratively answers දෙන එකක් තමයි එන්නේ. එතකොට මේ give me 1 second.
Yeah, let me proceed with that. Yes. So when the entire group is doing the presentation, so everyone must know everyone else's part. So that entire story should be known by everyone, and do not ever assign group members that you are the one who answers this question, or you are the one who answers this question. You don't need to have a breakdown of that thing. You know, everyone should be able to answer everyone else's question. So that is simply the team spirit. So that the most proficient, or rather most effective answer is usually turning up, because everyone is ready to answer the question, right? And you can take your turn and answer the question. Do not ever decide that questions on this will be answered by person A, questions on this will be answered by person B, and so on. You can have a simple division, but make sure that everyone is ready to answer that question, because it's part of the team delivery. And yes, and remember, between team members, there has to be fair and equal number of slides given for everyone, right? And fair and equal time given for everyone, and fair and equal warm welcoming given to each person by the other person who is leaving, which is simply transition. When person A invites person B, it has to be done in an equal way that B invites to C. We should respect each member equally, and we should give them equal significance, so that your presentation is going to be overall perfect. It's not a single
And also,
page.
yeah, consistent slide design. Then අපි group presentation එකක් හදනකොට ඔයාලා group members ලා පහක් ඉන්නවා නම් slide design කරනකොට අපි දැන් presentation එකක් හදනකොට අපි කියනවා හරි දැන් ඔයා මගේ ටික එයා පළවෙනි slide එකට දාන ටික එයා දැන් member 1 ගේ slide එකට දාන්න ඕන ටික එයා එවනවා, member 2 එකේ එක්කෙනාට slide එකට දාන්න ඕන ටික එයා එවනවා, 3 එකේ එක්කෙනා එයා එවනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඔය තුන ඉන්ටිග්‍රේට් කරලා එකක් හදනවා. හරිද? නැත්නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ Google Slides වගේ online මොකක් හරි collaborative tool එක කට්ටිය පස් දෙනාම ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ topics එකට දාලා ටික දානවා. හරි, එතකොට වෙන්නේ දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එක එක්කෙනාගේ අර එක එක්කෙනාගේ writing styles presenting styles වෙනස්නේ. දැන් සමහරු ඉන්න පුළුවන්, සමහරු ගොඩක් අර bullet points වලට ආසයි. සමහරු funny way එකට, සමහර images ගොඩක් දාලා ආසයි. සමහරු ටිකක් අර overcrowded ටිකක් අර ගොඩක් describe කරන්න ආසයි. අන්න ඒ වගේ අර ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ writing styles يعني ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ presenting styles අර يعني images use කරන විදිය එක්කෙනාගේ වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So මෙතෙන්දී අර දැන් පොඩ්ඩක් අර ගොඩාක්ම වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැතුව පස් දෙනාගේ පොඩ්ඩක් අර consistency එකක් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. يعني පස් දෙනාම දැම්මට පස්සේ inputs ටික පොඩ්ඩක් පස්සේ يعني integrate කරලා then you can just go for like a common way of presenting your information in a slide. Right. We can go to the next slide. So if you have anything, you can add.
No, it's a interesting topic coming in. Online presentations.
Yeah, right. You can take this if you would like.
Yeah. Now, online presentation is, as you know, is a virtual environment where you are sitting behind a screen and your audience is sitting behind a screen and your panel is also sitting behind the screen. But the entire hub of connection is determined by internet connection. So make sure if you have a lecture in the afternoon, during your daytime, you have to plan the number of videos that you watch, right? The serving time that you have, because you know your internet limit, right? So before you begin, test your internet connection, and we cannot advise you to have a second internet connection standby and so on. We know that people have different abilities, but we advise you to have standby connection next to you. Say, for example, if you are joining using your home's Wi-Fi device, Maybe in case if electricity fails, the Wi-Fi might go down, and then you should be able to quickly set up your hotspot in your mobile and go ahead with the presentation, or rather you can keep it as a standby option and so on. So make sure before you begin the presentation, test your internet connectivity and ensure that you keep it connected. And particularly now, good lighting and background is very important. Now, most of the presentations do happen in leisure times like this. Now, we can't expect you to have studio-like lighting at home, but at least there has to be a proper lighting system where we can detect the reader, not as a swaying ghost, but as a human, right, who is speaking, because facial gestures, your body and hand movements, and your eye contact is visible even though it is an online presentation, right? And the other thing is, it is the microphones and cameras that connects audio and video. Ensure that you are using such a device which connects with, which is working with functional camera and a video microphone, and test it before you go for the live presentation, right? And there is something called a share screen mode in your presentation slides. You can search it when you get into PowerPoints. And share screen mode means that you present something and what you want to view to your audience appears on your screen. When you choose the share button, it prompts onto different what we call icons. On those icons, you have to select the right window which you should project on your audience. And make sure before you speak, you ensure that your screen is shared, your voice is audible, and you are ready to connect with them. So those are simple principles when you're doing an online presentation. Keep those things in mind because your future will be filled with online presentations for sure. Madam Ashwini, can you add something to this slide, please?
Yeah, so yes. So you can look at the camera now. අර camera එක තියෙනවානේ මෙතන ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ laptop එකේ camera එක දිහා බලන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ එතනනේ project වෙන්නේ. So ඒක දිහා බලන්න. මේ මොකද එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට eye contact කියන එක මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ අනිත් පැත්තේ ඉන්න කෙනාට ඔයගේ eye contact බලන්න පුළුවන්. Yes. And speak slightly slow. පොඩ හිමින් කතා කරන්න. මොකද මේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ කියන්නේ මයික්‍රොෆෝන් එකකින් කතා කරන්නේ and also මේ engagement tools ගන්න ඔයගොල්ලන්ට polls chat එක use කරන්න පුළුවන් polls ඊට පස්සේ zoom එකේ නම් poll I mean engagement tools are interactive tools quizzes online quizzes වගේ අර පොඩක් ඉන්ටරැක්ටිව් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපිට දැන් ඔඩියන්ස් එක අපිට පේන්නේ නැහැනේ ඔඩියන්ස් එක නිදිද නැද්ද? ඒ කියන්නේ එයා අපේ ඇටෙන්ෂන් එක යනවද නැද්ද කියන. දැන් අපි මේ ෆිසිකල් ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එක නම් අපිට එයාලගේ ගෙස්චර්ස් වලින් ඒ කියන්නේ ෆේෂල් එක්ස්ප්‍රෙෂන් වලින් පේනවා. So ඒකින්ද පොඩක් audience engagement tools ගන්න මේ පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම තමයි technical issues. So there can be technical issues. We are working with the technology. So ඉතින් ඒ වගේ backup plan එකක් තියාගන්න හැමතිස්සෙම. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයාට හොඳයි කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ crucial දැන් assessment එකකට වගේ නම් මේ online presentation එක හොඳයි. කියන්නේ තියෙනවා නම් ඔයාලට තව ගෙදර තව ලැප්ටොප් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක රෙඩි කරලා තියාගන්න. නැත්නම් ඔයාලට ෆෝන් එකෙන් ලොගින් වෙන්න පුළුවන් නම් ෆෝන් එකත් ළඟ තියාගන්න. මොකද ලැප්ටොප් එකේ මොකක් හරි නැති වුණොත් ඔයාලට ෆෝන් එකට යූස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ නැත්නම් ඉන්ටර්නෙට් කනෙක්ෂන් එක නැත්නම් ඔයාලට තව ඉන්ටර්නෙට් කනෙක්ෂන් එකට යන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක තියාගන්න. ඒ වගේ ගොඩක් සෙකන්ඩ් ඔප්ෂන් එකක් plan B එකක් ඕකටත් තියාගන්න ඉන්න එක හොඳයි. මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගොඩක් ටෙක්නිකල් ස්ටෆ් එකන වැඩ කරන්නේ නැත්නම් ගොඩ දැන් ඇසෙස්මන්ට් එකට වගේ නම් ඔයගේ සම්පූර්ණ මාක්ස් නැති වෙන්න සමහර ඉඩ තියෙනවානේ. So it's better to go for a plan B if you are delivering online presentations. So do you have anything to add?
Actually, nothing much, but the very thing that I wanted to tell you is technical issues is not an excuse, right? Sometimes students are actually taking it as a blessing. Do not ever take technical issues as a blessing, because though you think that your mic, if you simply say, I couldn't hear, microphone did not work or something, it could be an excuse for you, but your markers, your presentation will be marked on the one that you do, one that you speak, one that you showed, and one that you did. So don't take it as an excuse. Do it, in a classy way, without making technical issues a blessing for your defects. Well, timing is also important. Now remember, when speeches are judges have to go through hundreds or couple of dozens of speeches. It is not easy, right? It is not easy for someone, and your audience has to go through. Therefore, do not go beyond allocated time, and do not keep one slide appearing longer moments, just one slide per minute, or quite simply with transitions on screen, on your mouth, on your words, and everywhere. And pacing, how slow, how fast, the rhythm of your speech or presentation should be determined when you're doing the rehearsals, because you know that you have 10 minutes, and within that 10 minutes you have to tell this whole lot. For doing that, you need what a speed should you have, right? And remember, always in your presentations, even though they do not indicate you that there will be a Q&A session, always leave time for question if required. Remember that the presentation hasn't got any Q&A session, but still, you are the presenter. You can actually ask a question from the audience if you want to work on your timing, right? And of course, such a questioning will make your engagement with the audience, with which you'll be doing your presentation, actively, lively, and in an engaged way. So that's all about timing your presentation. And what is next? Rehearsing. Now, some of you must be maybe masters of public speech. But let me tell you one thing. I have made perhaps thousands of speeches, thousands of presentations and lectures in the university in my 18 years of time. But still, when I'm going for a presentation, I still do a bit of a rehearsal. This rehearsal does not mean that I'm doing the entire presentation, but at least I go through the slides and I look at the signposts and I simply look and be prepared for what is coming in, because every presentation should be an exciting moment for everyone, right? And if you want to get yourself better projected with your presentation, particularly on online things, you can, before in hand, you can actually record yourself and watch back how you appear on the presentation and all that. These features are available. Make use of them. And technology, use them abundantly, because technology has no limit. Any technology available can be used. You don't need to ask. Any ethical, right technology can be used. And particularly, if you are not going to do the entire presentation rehearsal, at least do the introduction. Because if you are confident with the introduction, and if you do your rehearsal in the introduction, you can do the introduction properly. And if you do a proper introduction, it will give you the motivation and energy and power and strength to go ahead with the next slides. That's a rule of thumb. And that's something that I also encounter. I at least do rehearse at least the introduction. That is a must. Madam Ashwini, am I right?
Yes. Yes, yes.
So with that, we are coming to the final slide. After this, no slides, please. Yes. In a presentation, clear structure. You know what is the structure? With an introduction, main points in the body, and conclusion where you restate your logic, which you have proven. That structure is a must. And your visual aids, your speech, and your body language are also simple, and they are clean. And They are visually rich. And ensure that you practice your delivery and timing. And never forget, it's not only you engaged in the presentation, even your audience. Make sure that you engage with them. And remember, as I told in the previous slide, at least rehearse your presentation's introduction. That will give you confidence. And when you do your presentation introduction confidently, this confidence evolves and continues and grows. Confidence comes with preparation. So be prepared always. So those are the final takeaways from me. And now it is time for you all to ask questions from us. Let me stop share and come on screen to hear from you. We've been talking a lot of time. Madam Ashwini, have you got something to put as a question from them? Maybe to check whether they've gotten the things correctly. Well, shall I ask one question, guys? I want a quick answer from you all. Imagine that your presentation is about a product that you developed, right? And I'm going to give you 3 options from which you have to choose which option better fits your presentation. Number 1, you are going to use an animated process of the product you actually have in your mind. Number 2, you make a simulation of the product, or rather you make a prototype of your product in a small scale and you bring it as a visual aid to the class in addition to the diagram or rather animation that you're going to do on it. Number 3, you don't take animation, but you take the prototype and you have an idea to deconstruct or rather split or rather break the bigger prototype into smaller parts and elaborate it on the presentation time. And those are the 3 options. Which option would you choose as your best presentation mode? Animation, prototype. Those are the A and B, and C is without animation, prototype, broken, it can be collapsed. It is collapsible prototype. You divide that and show it to the audience. What is your option? What is your best choice? That's my question. A, B, or C? How many of you vote for A? Raise your hands or thumbs up if you vote for A. Animation. How many of you vote for B? How many of you vote for C? I didn't see anyone is responding. Does it mean that you all are sleeping? Dilum opted for one thing. Thank you, Dilum. What about the others? What is your option? Come on, can I hear what's your option? Only Dilum was listening to the question. Am I right? What about the others? Friends, please respond. Sweden has 2 options, B or C, okay? What about the others? Madam Ashwini, what will be your choice?
Sorry.
The A option is the animation on screen. B is a prototype and animation together. C is a prototype which is collapsible without animation. And your purpose is to show your product.
Animation and a prototype.
Well, Taruka opts for C. Okay. You can think of anything other than A, B, or C. Or maybe a combination of all.
I think it's better now if you're going to show. මෙහෙමයි ඉතින් prototype එකක් දීලා just you can do and present animation එකක් මෙහෙමයි ඉස්සෙල්ලා present you have to go to pitch the idea ඒකට presentation එකක් දෙනවා verbally slides දාගෙන ඊට පස්සේ then you are showing the animation and then prototype එක explain කරන දෙයක් නෑ ඒක එතන දාලා තියෙන්නේ කට්ටියට බලන්න පුළුවන් and there's the animation ඒකත් බලන්න තියෙන්නේ ඒක බලන්න තියෙන. ඒක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন කරන්න නෑ මොකොත්. අර ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකේ ස්ලයිඩ්ස් එක you are going to pitch the idea. ඒක ඔයා verbally creatively ඒක ඔයා මේක තමයි මගේ product එක. මේක ගන්න. මේකේ special features තියෙනවා ගගා. ඒක ප්‍රසන්ටේෂන් එකෙන් කරනවා. අර දෙක නිකන් ඔහේ තියෙනවා. ඒක බලන්න තියෙන. I don't know.
Yes, what you pitched is quite right. What is it? Neither the animation nor the prototype alone do the job, right? Animation has a purpose, that is to illustrate some process or mechanism. Prototype is to show what the product looks like, but just animation and prototype alone cannot do anything. You have to pitch the idea using all those visual aids with your voice doing the major role. That's the idea I wanted to communicate. And there is no best way. The best way could be the best way fit to you, and it might not be the best thing for person B and C. So you have to do rehearsing yourself on the purpose and go ahead and find your own method which works better. So that's it from our end, Madam Ashwini. Do you have any idea about the assessments? Can you explain a bit about the 3 assessments that we are going to do?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I switched on my camera. So, assessments. Wait, you have 3. I mean, it's not assessments. They are not assessments. They are assignments. We are assigning you to do something, and you have to take. They are take-home assignments. So, assignment 1 is. Can you share screen? I mean, can you? Do you have access to the whiteboard?
Yeah.
Do I have access? Wait. Oh, yes, I have access. Oh, yes, I have access. Wait. Right. So, we have, so, we have, 3 assignments. So, we have 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 3 assignments. So So can you see the whiteboard? Okay, you can see. Okay. Assignment 1 is you have to wait. Academic behavior and presentation. Okay, and assignment 2 is academic essay of minimum 2,500 words, synthesizing information from given sources with referencing and citation, and assessment 3 is online vocabulary, online quizzes done so far. 33.3 copy. Deadline for assignment 1 and 2 that I'm giving you the deadline. Okay. So yeah, so these are the basic things. So if you have questions, you can ask. I explained this in a previous session also, but if you have further questions, you can ask. And sir, you can also add on to if you have any other things if you have any other things to add on.
Yes, guys. Now,
Hi. Yeah.
yeah, most of you have, those who are continuingly joining with us have completed most of the quizzes given, but it is not the case of everyone. We'll soon be sharing with you a Google form because you being the first group, first batch, we actually are going to be a little bit flexible with you all. So we'll be giving you a little more time to complete your assignment component 3, right? That also can be attempted even now. I'll make all the time and date restricted assignments open from tomorrow onwards for anyone to try at any time, right? So that you can get that component of the mark soon. And the second thing is, If any of you have joined the class thinking that you'll be able to get the university admission this time, but you had to go back and do the exam A levels once again, therefore you could not complete the whole program, you guys can actually join without paying anything further. You can freely join the batch 2 or any other forthcoming batches at any time convenient, and that should be actually indicated through a written request. And soon Mr. Tushara will be sharing with you a Google form asking the success of assignment submission and all that, and about something about the completion of all this, and make sure that everyone respond to that. And we'll be giving you guides on how to do the recorded video presentation and academic essay. On the first and second assignments, all the guidelines and criteria, assessment rubrics, and everything will be uploaded to Moodle soon, right? So that's from my end. Madam Ashwini, anything else?
No, I don't have any questions, but if these students have any questions, they can clarify these questions because it's the last day that we are meeting. Because and then last day we are like you have to interact with us lively and clarify all the questions related to the assignments.
Friends, raise your questions if you have. You can text or rather you can speak and ask. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පොඩ්ඩක් විතර බය වෙලාද 2500 words synthesize එකක් කිව්වා. බය වෙන්නකෝ. හැම සතියෙම modules 5ක් විතර කරන්න උනහම එක විෂයකට, say you are offering 5 course modules every semester and it all runs across 15 weeks, and every other week you have a couple of presentations, couple of essays and so on. ඒ නිසා අපි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට යෝජනා කරන්නේ මේ නිදහසේ ඉන්න වෙලාවේ අඩුතරම එකක් කරලා ඒකේ ෆන් එක ගන්න, ඒකේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක ගන්න, ඒකේ වයිබ් එක ගන්න, then you will feel like doing assignments not a big deal. We are just inviting you to have that fun before you actually experience it. And there is actually a wonderful vibe and happiness or rather feeling that you get after completing an assignment. So do it with this and go ahead. That's my point. Any questions, friends?
Just a thumbs up from everyone if you are clear with the assignments. Need a thumbs up, guys, if you are clear with the assignments. අනේ thumbs up එකක් දෙන්නකෝ assignments clear නම්. නැත්නම් ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් chat එකේ එවන්නකෝ.
Thank you, Fahin. Yes. Ishara and Dilum, is it clear? If not, just raise your questions. Well, madam, it seems it's clear for everyone.
Yeah. Dilum is asking quizzes කියන්නේ the quizzes that were uploaded in Sundays.
ඔය අපි
Not the
කරේ Sundays වල
activities.
upload කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරමින් හිටියේ.
ඒ ටික. අර upload කරන්න කියලා තිබ්බ assignments නෙමේ, only the quizzes.
Some of them
I
are
mean
reading
MCQ ඒ
comprehension,
වගේ තිබ්බේ
MCQ, yeah. Oh.
reading comprehension MCQ ඒ වගේ තිබ්බ quizzes. Not the submission writing දේවල් නෙමෙයි. I mean writing ලියලා වලට assignment submission.
අපි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඉන්ඩිකේට් කරන්නම් ග්‍රේඩ් බුක් එක ඩිසයින් කරලා. ඒතර ග්‍රේඩ් බුක් එකේ මාක් එකක් ඇලොකේට් කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒ සියල්ල ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් LMS එකේ ග්‍රේඩ් බුක් එකට ගිහිල්ලා බලන්න. දැනට සෙටප් කරලා නැහැ. අපි සෙටප් කරන්නම් ඉක්මනටම හෙට වෙද්දි. ඒතර ග්‍රේඩ් බුක් එකේ ඉන්ඩිකේට් කරලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒ අසයින්මන්ට්ස් ටික අනිවාර්යෙන් කරලා තියන්න. ලක්මිත් වාහන මේ Moodle ස්කෝතිං කියලා ඔයා අදහස් කළේ මොකද්ද පුතේ?
In that model, sir, there's something like they are giving scores for what we are doing on the model.
You mean the leaderboard?
Yes, leaderboard.
Yeah, we actually did not switch on the leaderboard because some of them are trying it live and repeating. Well, yes, once these assignments are all set and when the deadlines are set, we can keep the leaderboard on for sure, yes. So that leaderboard is all about how fast and accurately you are doing it and with which you'll see that, you know, whether you are appearing first, second or so on. So that it will be really, really competitive. We'll keep it on once the grade book is set up and once the rest is set. Any other questions that you all have got to ask? And ladies and gentlemen, today is going to be a really hectic day after your meeting. From 10 onwards, we are going to have another grand level meeting with academics so that we actually need a bit of a break in between. We do not like to leave you, but we actually do need a bit of a break in between. Therefore, let me tell you one thing now. We actually have missed a little bit of a thing that is about process description and object description, on which I promise you that we'll be giving you an elaborative or
මේ
rather
ඉෂාර අහනවා second assignment එක ගැන describe කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා අපහු.
second assignment එක
යන can you describe again?
right.
Simply.
Second assignment is about academic essay. හොඳයි. මේකෙදි පුතේ කරන්නේ මෙච්චරයි. අපි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට sources ටිකක් දෙනවා. sources ටිකක් කියලා කිව්වේ තක්කාලි source ඒවා නෙවෙයි. We'll be providing you with some journal articles, some extracts from articles and books. A references, a books කොහෙන්ද references මොනවද කියලාත් අපි දෙනවා. Right? ඒ sources ටික දීලා ඒ sources base කරගෙන අපි පොඩි scenario එකක් develop කරනවා. අපි කිසියම් සිද්ධියක් නිර්මාණය කරනවා අර sources refer කරලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට උත්තර හොයන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෙන් අපි ඔයාලට essay එකක් ලියන්න කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට ඔයාලට සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ අපි දීලා තියෙන sources ටික පාදක කරගෙන ඊට වැඩිය තව sources ගන්නවා නම් ඒවත් පාදක කරගෙන ඒ අපි කියලා තියෙන සංසිද්ධියට අදාළ ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ රචනාව ගොඩනගන්න. එතකොට ඒ රචනාව වචන 2500ක් වෙන්න ඕනේ කිව්වම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වචන 500ක්වත් වැටෙන්න ඕනේ. ඔයා වාක්‍ය පහක එන්න වාක්‍ය නෙවෙයි ඡේද පහක රචනාවක් ලියනවා. නමුත් වචන 2500ක් නිසා ඔයාට ඡේද 7-8කට උනත් යන්න පුළුවන් මේකේ. ඒ විදිහට essay එක ලියන එක තමයි කාරණේ. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ අර sources වලින් information ගන්නවා. ඒවා paraphrase කරලා summarize කරලා එහෙම නැත්නම් quotations විදියට ගන්නවා ඒ විදියට cite කරනවා ඒ ගත්තේ කොහෙන්ද in-text citation මතක ඇතිනේ ඊට පස්සේ in-text citation කරනවා ඒ දේවල් කරලා පිළිවෙලකට ලියන ලද academic essay එකක් තමයි අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. ඒතර වාගේ academic essay එකේ අර අපි කියපු thesis statement එක topic sentences connect coordinating devices ඊට පස්සේ cohesive devices conclusion එක introduction එක body එක ඔන්න ඔය කියන features ඔක්කොම ඇතුව ඔයගොල්ලෝ perfect essay එකක් craft කරනවා. මැඩම් අශ්විනී එක වචන 1500කට සීමා කරා. මම හිතන්නේ ඒක සාධාරණ දෙයක්. well පැහැදිලිද? තවත් පැහැදිලි කිරීම අවශ්‍යද යන.
Yeah, so නෑ 2500 මට හිතුණා පොඩ්ඩක් වැඩි කියලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පොඩිනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ 1500 තියමු
මැඩම්
නැද්ද?
අශ්විනී ඔයා
එහෙම.
කිව්වට මේගොල්ලෝ පොඩි කියලා මම හිතන්නේ අපි දෙන්නටම වැඩි ලොකුයි මේගොල්ලෝ.
ඔව් ඒක තමයි. I mean 1500 තියන්නද 2500 තියන්නද? What do you like?
නෑ 1500 is okay, yeah. That's fine.
Okay, right.
I just made a reference to the BMI, BM body mass.
Okay.
In terms
So
of body
Ishara,
mass,
was
yeah.
it clear? Yeah, Ishara හරිද පුතේ? Was it clear? Or just okay, right. Yeah. So මේක 1500 2000ද කියලා මං හරියට 1500 තියන්න okay
That's
because you are
Pansiati.
just
That's
after A levels
Pansiati.
නේ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So mm, yeah, then we can say goodbye and good night.
Yes, and a promise on describing objects and describing processes. We'll be sharing with you a video lesson so that you can learn it before you do your presentation, with which you can go ahead. And with that, we have covered almost everything that we have had in our basket to deliver you. And we are looking forward to see you use all these tools in your academic journey and make yourself comfortable in your respective disciplines and make yourself the shining participants of your degree program, with which I'm sure that you will gain a wonderful outcome of which we all can be proud of. Aren't we, Madam Ashwini? What is our biggest
Yes.
pleasure?
Yes, pleasure. I like to sleep. Yeah. Okay. Biggest pleasure is seeing you smile and seeing you achieve success, and that's all. If you achieve success, like we will feel happy. And yes, I mean, I wish that all of you graduate with first class honors, and yeah, take my blessings. And okay, right.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna say you all goodbye. Thank you, Dilum, for your comment. And everyone, if you have got something to say as a last word, you can say it here. And with that, we can say good night. And remember that we'll be forever with you for any academic matter you have. You all have our contacts and everything. You all can reach us physically, virtually, or by technological means. And we are here to help you all. Good luck, my dear kids. Thank you. Thank you. Then good night, everyone.
Good night, sir. Good night, man. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Good night. God bless you.
Madam.